Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name's Larry. I'll be teaching class for you today. Super excited to be here. I just want to start off by thanking Be Well Philly, doing an awesome job with this, year after year. Thank you for having me back again. I definitely look forward to doing these with everybody. It's always a great time to be able to come together. Do some yoga, get some good energy focused, and, just have a good time in each other's company. Michelob Ultra, beer sitting next to me over there. Three Queens Yoga, of course. All the support that they give, that they share, doing these events around town, always a fun time. So, gives us, like I said, an opportunity to come together. I know, and I'm sure you feel the same way in these times. We're social creatures, and it's tough for us to be in this situation that we're in now, to be away from each other. But, when we have opportunities and they come up, we make the most of them. And that's what we're doing here today, right? This is an opportunity for us to come together, to unite, to integrate, right? To collect, to grow together. And we are always much more powerful together. And when we bring things into balance, when we unite, the stronger we get, the more we can change. And that's what we do when we come to the mat, right? We try to grow. We want to be a better version of ourselves in this practice. We want to be able to take the practice from the mat and move it to the yoga of life. Right, where on the mat, it's going to be fun. Your asana is your movement. It's supposed to be a good time. It's your play time as yogis and yoginis. When we step out into the yoga of life, the ante's raised a little bit. The stakes are a little bit higher. We have to be able to adjust and change and maneuver and those different things. It's going to be the same thing on the mat, but again, you're here to have a good time. Don't put any pressure on that situation. Your yoga is a practice, and that's all yoga's ever going to ask for you. It's success if you just practice, right? Yoga never demands that you do these different things. All it says is try. And as we practice today, there's going to be different places that you're going to want to reach for. There's places where you might want to pause. There's challenges that you're going to accept, and you're going to find what's most comfortable for you. Is one going to be better than the other? Absolutely not. They're all going to be awesome, right? And that's what we have to think about when we practice. So maybe take a nice seat. What we do in the beginning of our classes, we just pause. And here's we take that nice comfortable seat. Let your eyes gently close. And it's here that we set an intention for our class. And everything is important and everything is valuable. Whether it is, coming to the mat to rehab an injury, to practice, to further your yoga, to spend time with each other, with our Kula, our yoga family. And from that intention, we begin to grow. We start our small little refinements. Our integration, our connection. And here we start with the breath. In the simplest forms, just listen to yourself breathe. That's already a little bit better than a moment before. If this is a comfortable place for you, stay here. If you want to move a little further, refine a little more, challenge a little bit, start to balance the inhale and the exhale. So if your inhale is 2 or 3 seconds, make your exhale 2 or 3 seconds. Slow down the beginning of the inhale because we just tend to gasp that breath. And push a little bit more on the end of the exhale because we tend to let that breath taper off. And just recognize that change. Maybe find Ujjayi breath, where the air begins to rebound off the back of the throat. Kind of like you would be fogging a mirror. And we say we bring full consciousness to the breath. Let the breath turn to movement. On the next inhale, let the hands come in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra. The inhale lifts the arms. The exhale brings the fingertips to root. The knuckle pads come together. The heels of the hands touch. And it's that space between the palms that we breathe. And we say that breath goes all the way down the arms and fills in the back of our heart, and from the back of our heart back out in front of us. One time together to initiate our practice, our time together with our kula. Together, the sound of Om. All together, deep breath in. Om. Beautiful. So we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. Okay, so as we play today of coming together and connecting, let's start out all fours, hands and knees. Hands are going to be an inch or two in front of your shoulders. Knees are an inch or two behind your hips. Pointer fingers are facing forward or maybe turned out a little bit. It's going to get those wrist creases parallel with the top of the mat. Curl the toes so your heels are pointing straight up. And then we want to just start to get this foundation a little more energized. So when the hands start to claw the floor, start to hug the hands in towards the midline, you're going to feel that energy climb up the arms, and it's going to collect in your chest. It's going to collect in the shoulders and the upper back. In the legs, sweep the inner heels out. Hug the shins into the midline. You're going to feel that energy climb up the legs into the hips. Draw the belly towards the spine. Bring the ribs to the spine. You're going to feel that climb up the body to support the upper trunk. And then slide your head and your throat back to keep that chin from falling. And what you should feel is now as you breathe into the ribs, you start to expand front to back, top to bottom, side to side. And with all this space, now we move. Inhale, arch the back, lift the sit bones, reach through the crown of the head. Exhale, round the back. Look to your belly. Lengthen your sit bones towards your heels. Cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, round the back. And just slowly letting breath initiate the movement. Undulate through the spine. That inhale, feeling the heads of the arm bones root into the shoulder socket, feeling the sit bones blossom and open. And on the exhale, taking those sit bones towards the heels or maybe even towards the back of the knees, feeling the low back start to stretch. Couple more here. And after this next one, just come to that neutral position, so a flat back. Take your knees back just a few inches and come to puppy dog with our hips stacked up above our knees. So this is a version I like to teach. This is like a non-weight bearing downward dog. It just gives us a chance to start to connect or tap into some of these areas that we're going to have to get going. So when we do have to bear the weight, we're ready to go. So making sure those hands are still set. Keep the forearms lifting up. Keep the inner biceps lifting up. And then breathe into the ribs again. Expand open. And as you keep those inner biceps lifting, you're going to feel your shoulders move out away from your ears like you get wider.
And then as you gently soften your chest down towards the yoga mat, you feel that nice opener up the arms, into the chest. One more breath here. Inhale, come forward, all fours, hands and knees. Building a little bit, we'll start to put the hips into it, tiger pose. Inhale, take your right heel to the sky. You want to keep everything at 90. So 90 from the foot to the shin to the thigh. And on the exhale, bring the knee towards your chin or towards your chest. Inhale, take the heel to the sky. Keep the hips square here by pulling your pubic bone to the inside of your left thigh. It'll help keep those hips square as compared to this, where the hip opens up. 2 more so here, so you're around 5. And then after that second one, lower that right knee. Inhale, take the left heel to the sky. Exhale, bring the knee to the chin. Inhale, take that heel to the sky. Try to lift the ceiling up with your foot as the exhale draws in. 3 more here. This time you're pulling the pubic bone to the inside of your right thigh to keep the hips square. And then after your 5, come to that neutral position, that flat back. I always call this low mountain, right? Just what it reminds me of. And then start to charge up again. Hug the hands in, fire up the arms. So a lot of stuff that I do is fascial lines. So you're gonna feel that run up the arms and into the chest. It's starting to collect all that energy. And same in the legs. Sweep the inner heels out, hug the shins, and then lift the knees and the hips. We'll meet in downward dog. The fascial lines are how we start to connect muscles into muscle groups. That's how we get ourselves stronger. That's how we get our body to move together instead of apart. Here in downward dog, bend the knees a little bit. Just as we did before, claw the floor like you have talons underneath your fingers and you're rooting strong down into the mat. Keep the forearms lifting up, keep the inner biceps lifting up. And with your knees bent, pull your heels to your butt to your heels. It's gonna fire up your hamstrings. We want any muscle that we stretch, we want it to be engaged first. So as we stretch it, it goes through the belly of the muscle, not just at the origin and the attachment. And now as you straighten your legs, you're gonna feel that stretch more through the belly of the muscle. Isometrically, so without movement, push the hands forward as you soften the chest back towards your toenails. Big opener in the arms and the chest. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. The first one we'll hold. So we tack our toenails down, our thumbs are in the middle of our chest, so nipple line. Charge the legs by flicking the toes into the mat, sweeping the inner heels out and hugging those shins in. Now draw your kneecaps up towards your waist. Your hands hug in, they draw back. And as your belly draws to your spine, lengthen your pubic bone to the mat, your junk to the yoga mat. And now peel your belly open, let your chest open, take your shoulders up and back, head and throat back. And I always like chin down to get that extension through your neck. Exhale, lower your chest, push up the plank. Exhale, push back, downward dog. And even here, notice as you start to integrate, as you start to engage, how it's easier to hold yourself up, how you can control the movements instead of just being pulled through. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. 3 breaths, your breaths. Each breath connecting on the inhale to that muscle energy, and on the exhale, the organic. After your 3 breaths, lower your chest or go back to chaturanga. Push up the plank. Exhale, push back, downward dog. Slide your head and your throat back so that your biceps are in line with your cheeks or your ears. It's gonna start to get that neck to engage. You know, sometimes I hear that, let your head hang like ripe fruit. That's one of our misalignments of life. Our head hangs like ripe fruit all day as we stare at these phones or we work on the computers. Here, slide the throat back, engage those muscles. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. 3 breaths. Feel that engagement between the shoulder blades. After the 3 breaths, lower the chest or back to chaturanga. Push up the plank. Exhale, push back, downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, lunge. So high on your fingertips of your blocks. I have my blocks here with me. If you don't have your blocks, just stay up here higher on your fingertips. It's going to give us some more space to work with. Front knee stacked up on top of our ankle and in line with your second toe, the one next to your big toe. And the back leg, the left thigh, keep lifting the top of that left thigh up and back. If this is happening to you where the thigh's collapsing, come up a little higher on the ball of the foot. You'll be able to get a little more connection there to keep that leg lifting up. And as you keep the top of that left thigh lifting up, soften the top of your right thigh down. There's that big opener here through the glute, the back of the leg. Now, as you root down in the legs, breathe up into the ribs, and on the inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana 1 crescent variation. So crescent variation just keeps the heel up. If you're a classic practicer and you got the heel down, that's okay. I tend to teach this to keep a little more freedom here in those SI joints in the low back. Keep drawing that front heel back. Keep drawing the back toes forward. Square that left hip forward. Draw pelvic floor up. Draw belly in. Bring ribs back. Hug like you're squeezing a beach ball between your forearms as you reach up and out of your thumbs, out of the crown of the head. 1 more breath. Exhale the hands down. Step back. Downward dog. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. And again, we're going to hold lunge to start out with here. Those of us that are in a chair throughout the day start to open up here, these hip flexors. So flexion of the hip is like what your left leg is, your left thigh is doing, where your hip is closed. Extension is here in this back right leg. So high on the fingertips of the blocks, draw that front heel back, draw the back toes forward. You just feel that energy. You're creating this strong foundation, so when then we fly, we have some place to move from. That's connected, that's rooted. Start to breathe in through the ribs. And as you reach forward out of your front knee, reach out through the back of your heel. Reach up and out through the crown of your head. Breathe up into the ribs 1 more time, and the next inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana 1, crescent variation. Keep drawing that belly button in. You're going to start feeling your belly move away from the top of your left thigh. It's good. We want that. And as you hug the forearms in and you reach up out of the thumbs, the back of the arms ignite and then soften into the lead knee as you reach up and out of the crown of the head. 1 more breath. Exhale the hands down, step back, downward dog. Nice, crew. It's tough. This yoga's hard. Right? If you think that, like, if you were coming for easy, you'd have stopped coming long ago. Right? Yoga's tough, but that's the fun part of it. Inhale, come forward to plank. That's the challenge. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up the plank. Exhale, push back, downward dog. 2 more times. Your breath, your vinyasa. Play. Flow through. You know, in yoga we say we connect heart, mind, and body. We unite muscle and organic energy. We'll meet in downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands. Swing your arms up, big reach. Draw your belly, lengthen your sit bones down. It's going to start to puff up your lumbar spine. And as you root down in the legs, maybe reach up, maybe curl back a little bit. Inhale, come up. Let the right hand grab the left wrist. On the inhale, we go up.
And on the exhale, take that side bend to the right. Draw the belly in, draw the ribs back, take the arms back, slide the head and the throat back. And each inhale, make more space by reaching up, and each exhale, side bending a little bit deeper. Inhale, come back up to center, swap the hands. Inhale to go up, exhale just a little bit, right? You got a few more breaths to play with. The next inhale, whatever angle you're on, reach up. And then take that little side bend deeper. You want to root from the hip down into the heel, and you want to peel from the hip up the side body, up the arms, out the fingertips and the crown of the head. Inhale, come back up to center, release the hands. Exhale, fold, forward fold. Hands to your fingertips or your block. Legs are straight. Inhale, look forward, spine is straight. So Uttanasana A, or this half fold. And now we want to get the weight balanced in our feet. So if you're leaning forward, the weight's too heavy in the balls of your foot. Your heels are light. If you're too far back, your heels are too heavy and the balls of the feet are light. So find that balance. Keep the inner heels sweeping out, hug the shins in. Keep pulling your butt to your heels to your butt. You're going to keep a connection in that hamstring. And as you look forward, lengthen through the spine. And on the exhale, go ahead and fold into the pose a little bit deeper. And see, as you take your time through the posture, you keep opening and making space. The more space you make, the more you can move into that space. Inhale to look forward, length through the legs, length through the spine, and exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Work on your breath, not my voice. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga, lower your chest, push up the plank. Exhale, push back, downward dog. 2 more times. Your vinyasa, your breath. Feel the poses come together. Even though they're separate, they come together as one, the vinyasa. Keeping in touch with that breath, working through the full length of the breath. So if that inhale is 2 or 3 seconds, let that be how long it takes to come to plank. And the exhale, 2 or 3 seconds, how long it takes to lower down. We'll meet in downward dog. From downward dog, reach the right leg straight back, step it through, lunge. Spin the back heel down, inhale, come up, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So you want your front heel to be in line with your back arch. If the back foot is forward here, the thigh's forward, it's going to be really hard for us to create that alignment, that root at the top of the thigh. So get like a balance beam, get that heel in line with the back arch. Back toes are slightly turned forward, front toes are forward or facing 12 o'clock, straight ahead of you. Keep this thigh back, take this left hip back. Now breathe, take the arms up to the side. And get long from hip to armpit. Reach through your backhand a little bit. It'll help keep you straight up and down. It'll open up this right hip. And now as the right hip starts to clear, lengthen your right sit bone to your right heel. And you're gonna feel that knee start to open out. Bring your gaze right over that middle finger. Inhale, take the palm up. Exhale, slide back. Reverse warrior. Keep the top of this thigh back on the left leg, because the common tendency is it comes forward. So keep rooting it back. And on the inhale, keep reaching up, and the exhale, slide a little bit deeper. One more breath. Inhale, come back up, Vira 2. Interlace your hands behind your back. Fold down the inside of that right leg. Now, start to like isometrically, so without movement, pull your hands apart. Reach them back behind you. Maybe even start to reach them up overhead. Whatever's comfortable is where you want to move to. One more breath. Exhale, release the hands. Take the hands down to the floor. Spin your back heel up. Downward dog. Nice, crew.
Here we go. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Spin the back heel down, inhale, come up, warrior two. And I just check to see if I'm set up here.
Right, I take a breath, we set a foundation, we engage, and then we express. Keep drawing that front heel back. Keep drawing the back arch forward. Keep rooting the top of this right thigh back. And now breathe. Long from hip to armpit. Now that you made the space, lengthen your left sit bone towards your left heel, and this knee is just going to start to wind down. It's going to track that second toe. Inhale the palm up, slide back into that reverse warrior. Slowly control these movements. Right? Gravity wants you to go boing. You want to use your muscles to control these movements. Soften into that lead knee. Reach up and out of the fingertips and the crown of the head. Inhale, come back up, warrior two. Exhale, the hands behind your back. If your left pinky was underneath last time, your right pinky's underneath this time. And then as you bow to the inside of the leg, start to isometrically pull the hands apart. Maybe reach them behind you. Maybe reach them up. One more breath. Exhale, release the hands, bring them down to the floor. Spin that back heel up, step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga. Inhale, push up the plank. Exhale, push back, downward dog. Nice, crew. It's tough to fire up there, all right? This is hard work. This is the challenge that we give ourselves. And if we stay connected, we stay together, we stay with the breath, we're going to make it through. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, push back to downward dog. Little dynamic opening in the arms, the chest, the shoulders. Inhale, come forward to plank. Pull your hands back to you as you come forward. Exhale, push back. Push the hands forward to push back. Yep. Inhale, come forward. We're going to do two more. Exhale to push back. We're turning on serratus anterior, lats. We're starting to open those areas on the way back also. One more. We'll meet in downward dog. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower slowly to your bellies. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Take your right hand underneath your chest. Take your left hand, reach back. Grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. Now, just like Cobra, on the forearm, I'm rooting down and I'm drawing it back to me. I bring my belly to my spine. I bring my pubic bone to the yoga mat. So you're neutralizing your pelvis. Now start to draw your heel to your hip. And there's that quad opener. Keep hugging the knees in. Don't let this happen where the knee splays out. Hug the knee in. One more breath. Exhale, release. Bring this left arm underneath. Side 2. Reach back with your right hand, grab the ankle, the foot, or the strap. Take a breath. We set the foundation. We engage, so that's drawing the forearm back, hugging the shins in, belly to spine, and then draw your heel to your hip. Nice opener in the front of that thigh. If you're feeling this in your low back at all, lower your chest. I know some of us like to stay up a little higher here. If you're catching this into that lumbar spine, just lower. One more breath here. Exhale, release. Take your hands along the side. Thumbs are in the middle of your chest. Take your shoulders up and back. Curl your toes under. Draw your belly. Push up the chaturanga. Push up the plank. Knees count. Push back to downward dog. Roll to the outside of the right foot. Stack the left foot on top or in front. Come into Vashisthasana. You can have the foot in front here, or you can stack up the feet.
Doesn't matter which one you do. One's not better than the other. They're both awesome.
Now, keep rooting down in the thumb and the pointer finger, pointer finger side of the hand. Turn the bicep forward. It's going to work the shoulder back. Push out of your big toe mounds. It's going to take that energy up the legs. Maybe reach that arm up. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, push back, downward dog. Here we go. Roll to the outside of the left foot. Stack the right foot on top or in front. Again, we can have that foot here to get a little more power up into the hips. Maybe try to stack the left hip on top of the right. Now we're really making the obliques work underneath. Take the head and the throat back. Maybe reach the arm up. One more breath. Nice, crew. Inhale, unwind. Place the hand down. Push back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, lower back to chaturanga, lower the chest, push up the plank. Exhale, push back, downward dog. Exhale, lower your knees. Sit back on your heels, Vajrasana. So all Vajrasana is here is where our toes are curled and we're opening up the arches in the feet and the joints in the toes a little bit. We're just giving ourselves a chance to just reconnect, regroup. You could take your thumb and your pointer finger to touch. This is Yana Mudra. And then you can let the heel of your hand just rest here at your hip crease and just close your eyes for a couple breaths. Think about where you started your practice. Think about where you're at now. Think about where we're going to go. It's the fun part about being together, whether we're in the yoga room or whether we're here virtually, we're passing that energy. We're fueling one another. Inhale, open the eyes, come up, wiggle those feet. Pretty intense there, huh? For some of us on those feet, for sure. We don't always treat our feet the best, right? So we spend a little time, give them a little love. They'll kind of give that back. All right, from here, exhale the hands down to the mat. So we're here all fours. And then we want to externally rotate our hands. So you're going to turn your hands out. And now, it doesn't matter if your hands are out to the side or if they're facing back to you. It's just really what's comfortable for you. Be careful you're not hyperextending your elbows. If you are, bring your knees in another inch or two, and that'll help you gently just bring that micro bend to your elbows. Now push down into your hands, and you feel this nice opener right up in the forearms here. Draw the belly in, slide the head and the throat back. Inhale, unwind, sit back on your heels, give your wrists a little spin. Anybody that's got to be on the computer all day or a lot of phone work, nice little move here that you can do, even throughout the day. All right, just to open this area up. Okay, inhale, come up. Exhale the hands down, all fours. Take a breath, lift the knees and the hips, push back to downward dog. And then just a chance here, right? We just wanted to kind of regroup. Check in, see where we're at. From here, just pedal the feet a few times. Swivel side to side, whatever feels good. Come to neutral. Just swivel to the outside of the right foot and the inside of the left foot and push your hands forward as you take your hips up and back. And you're gonna feel this nice opener. Here's your lat. You're gonna feel this nice opener through your lat on that left side. Inhale, come back to center. And then just pivot the feet again, outside of that left foot, inside of the right. And as I push my hands forward, I take my hips up and back. And there's that opener now on the right side. Inhale, come back to center. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, pigeon. So, I don't know about y'all, but in our studio, this is like a fan favorite. So, I definitely wanted to make sure that we hit a little pigeon today, Ekapada Rajakapatasana. So, we'll play around a little bit. We take that right knee nice and wide to the right edge of your mat. And then your left knee is behind your left hip here. So, if you have to peek over to see where it is. And then from here, it doesn't matter if your shin is parallel with the top of the mat. Just get it as close as you can. From here, take a breath, bow to your heart or look to your belly, and you're gonna see and feel your hips go up and back. With that space now, draw your front knee back and your back knee forward. And now all that energy came up into the hips, like so strong that like I could let go if I want to. That's how much power I have. Draw that pelvic floor up, draw that belly in, breathe into the ribs. You're gonna start to extend the spine. And then those of you that like to fold, maybe fold forward. I know some of you like to stay up in the prep. Stay in the prep, whatever feels good. Nice opener here, down the back of in the back of the hip, down the back of the leg. I always like to take my arms out to the side and bend my elbows out. And it just gives this nice supportive foundation for the upper back. So I can keep creating that neutral thoracic extension, right? Here's where we come from. We don't want to go to this in yoga, right? This is one of our misalignments in life. We want to find that space to move into. One more breath. Inhale, come up, place the hands, take a breath, lift those hips, unwind, downward dog. Pedal, swivel. This is one of those poses I always like to just feel the difference from side to side. What does it feel like when we've opened something? What does it feel like when the other side is waiting, when it's out of balance, right? To be out of balance is not a good feeling. To be united is where we want to be, where we have to be. Right? That's where we're going to be our strongest, whether for ourselves or for each other. Come to neutral, reach the left leg straight back, step it through, pigeon, side two. So this time that left knee nice and wide to the left edge of your mat, and then that right knee straight back behind that right hip. Pause, because for some of us, this is really intense. So don't rush. There's no rush in your practice. You're going to move with your breath. Move on your pace. And then bow to the heart, hug in. You start to feel everything coming together. And then if you want to, as you move away, it's strong, it's focused. It's not just collapse. We say in yoga, root to rise, or some of you that know me from Soma, I say things like ground force tension or force feedback. That's what we're doing with gravity. The more we push down, the more we hug in, the more we integrate, the more we unite, the easier it is to hold ourselves up, to take ourselves to that next place. One more breath here. Inhale, come up, place the hands, lift the hips, unwind, downward dog. Again, pedal, swivel, feel what it's like here. Come to neutral. Take your feet wide, walk your hands back. Come to Malasana or squat pose. So you want your knees to track your toes. It's going to be the safest for the knees, okay? So if you feel like your heels can't get to the floor, you just take your mat and you roll it up, or you take your blanket or your bolster and you put your heels on the back of the mat. And that's going to give you a little more space to be able to play with. Right here in this divot of the knee is where we're going to put the back of the arms. Hug the back of the arms in. And now it's going to engage the groins, the insides of the thighs, and then gently push the elbows away. There's the opener. You can stay here if you want to lift the hips, place the hands. Your knees are on the backs of your arms. Walk your feet to the midline so your big toe mounds touch. Look forward. As you look forward, you're going to start to see your fingertips getting white because you're clawing down into the floor here. As you continue to look forward, your feet are going to get light. When your feet get light, pull your heels to your butt. Push your hands down. When you're ready, lower down. Seated position, and then lay all the way on your backs. Nice, crew. Little arm balances there. Those who don't practice with me regularly know we would do some inversions, but today I figured I'd just throw in another arm balance for us to play with. All right, let's work here with a couple little back bends. We'll open up that upper back, or peel that chest, engage that upper back a little bit here. So let's start out. We'll do bridge. We'll do two back bends. I'll talk you through both. The first one I'll talk you through bridge. The second one through bridge. All right, bend your knees. Feet are on the floor. Feel your heels. That's usually a pretty good spot. You want your knees on top of your ankles. Bring your elbows along the sides, low back. Bring your belly to your spine, your legs to your spine, your shoulders back. Push down on your heels, sweep the heels out, hold the shoulders in, pull your heels back, as hard as you can lift the hips. You're going to feel so connected in the hips, and you could take the shoulders a little bit deeper, maybe interlace the hands. Reach the hands towards those feet as the shoulders go a little deeper. The knees reach forward, the upper palate of the mouth reaches back. Stay engaged as you release the hands, lower down. Take the feet wide, let the knees touch. You can bring your hands to cactus if that's comfortable. This is the end range of motion in the shoulder in this position. So for some of us, this might be tough. If you need to, take the block and you put it underneath the back of your hand here. You just bring it to forward a little harder, and it's a little uncomfortable. Inhale, open your ears, reset the feet, roll. Just bring it to the wheel as you elbow a little further. And keep it available. They're both awesome. It's just what the legs, draw the belly, take your breath, lift the hips. There you can start your left hip comfortable. You can place your hands wide to the edges of your mat and turn your hands out. As you turn your hands out, you're going to hug your elbows in. You're going to see them come in line with the outsides of the shoulders. That's where we want them to be. Plug those shoulders back. When you're ready, push down to come up. Some of us are going to stop at the crown of our head. Some of us are going to push right up in the wheel. Now, keep the inner heels sweeping out. Keep the inner thighs sweeping in. Keep the belly drawing in. Pump your heart towards that wall you're looking at. Take the shoulders back. One more breath. Stay engaged as you lower back down. Take your feet wide. Let your knees touch. From here, keep the feet wide. Windshield wiper the knees side to side. Now, keep your belly button in here. We don't want to be like in a back bend twist. We just want to be in a twist. And just gently move side to side. And when you balance both sides, come to neutral. Inhale your right leg up, cross it over your left. Scoot your hips to the right a little bit, just going to help you stay on your mat, and let your knees fall to the left. We talk about fascial lines. This is your functional line, so you're getting your outside quad to your glute and to the opposite side of your lat. This would be like your line that you would throw with. Now twist from your left side of your rib cage to take the back of the right shoulder to the mat. Inhale, come back to center, unwind the legs, scooch the hips back to center. Inhale, take the left leg up, cross the leg over, scooch the hips to your left, let your knees fall to the right. And this time you're going to twist from the right side of your ribs to take the back, your rear delt, the back of your left shoulder down. Belly in, ribs to spine. Remember, not a back bend twist, just a twist. Inhale, come back up to center, unwind the legs, scooch back to center, hug your knees into your chest, make a couple small circles on your low back. Maybe 3 or 4 or 5 one way, and 3 or 4 or 5 the other. Come to neutral. When you balance both sides out, take the knees wide. Ananda Balasana, final pose. So the knees go nice and wide, wider than your shoulders. Keep your sit bones reaching down. So I tend to hold the outside of my legs. Some of you are going to hold your toes. That's okay. If you feel like your butt's doing this, where it's flying in the air, just let go of your feet and hold the outsides of your shins. And then as you take your knees wide, draw your knees towards your ears, and there's that big opener there, insides of the legs, back of the hip a little bit. Some of you like to rock side to side, to reach one leg out, to reach both legs out, whatever feels comfortable. And then inhale the knees to center. Exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. I'm gonna talk everybody through laying flat. You're more than welcome to do any version of Shavasana that's comfortable for you, to add or remove layers. From here, as we lay back, let the legs stretch out, let the feet gently roll open. Bring the arms along the sides, let the shoulders settle back, let the palms turn to the sky. Let the head rest back. Let your eyes close. Allow the tongue to soften from the roof of the mouth. And let your body get heavy. Let your mind soften and get light. Think of the breath. And let your heart open. It's through the heart that we receive the practice. The awareness, the alignment, the connection. And it's from the heart that we take the yoga from the mat to the steps of our life, the yoga of our life. Just as you did on the mat. Times got tough, when the pose got challenging. In the steps of life, it's the same thing. Sometimes you have to pause and take a breath. Reset the foundation, re-engage. And from there, a more beautiful, connected expression. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. Let the breath wash over you from the tips of your toes to your fingers to the crown of your head. Let it fill in the back of your heart. All parts of us. Maybe take one hand on your heart and one hand on your low belly and just feel the breath. The inhale as the chest rises and the belly lifts. And the exhale as the belly falls. The chest begins to soften. Again, letting that breath turn to movement. Wiggle the fingers and the toes, move the arms and the legs, or any way that feels good. When you're ready, you can gently hug your knees towards your chest and just roll to the right side. Take your hands underneath your head and just make a little pillow and take a couple breaths here as we reacclimate. When you're ready, you can push your hands down to come up to a seated position. We'll meet with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts in Anjali Mudra. That place we started, the place we practice, the place we finish. And how we always move the yoga from the mat, the steps of our life, with that full and open heart. One more time together to seal in our practice, our time with our Kula, that yoga family. Together, the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Om. Beautiful, as we softly bow our head to our hearts, our head to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work and that determination, that challenge, that coming together, that connection with each other, it's always to you that I bow. Namaste.
Thank you, crew. Beautiful practice. We have a couple questions that we have here that I'm going to go over. Super fun, so
We'll just spend a couple of minutes here
You know, today, and I kind of talked a little bit about this throughout our practice, but, you know, our topic today is how to incorporate your yoga practice into your daily life. You know, there were things that we did today in our practice that we can move easily outside the yoga room, right? To continue to move, to connect, to challenge, to grow. Right? So,
You know, here's one. Are there a few key
yoga positions that are designed to
get you through
daily life? Sitting at a desk all day,
walking up and down stairs, picking up our babies or kids, basically positions that simply keep your body moving how it needs to. So, you know, those throughout the day, when those of us that work at the desk, I showed you that forearm stretch, taking the hands behind the back and starting to integrate those muscles, your rhomboids between your shoulder blades, peeling open the chest. Like this is what happens to us, right? We start to collapse in. So just doing a couple of these moves are going to bring a little bit of freedom and help open you back up and get you back to neutral. Hip hinge. You know, a lot of times when we bend over to pick something up in human movement, hip hinge is like one of the most important movements that we have to our body, and that's here. But what happens, see, this is at the crease of my hip. But a lot of times when we bend over, we reach and we bend at our waist, our belly crunches, our spinal erectors start to like have to be forced to hang on, and we start to get in like icky positions. We lose connection in the back body, the hamstrings and the glutes, and the hip flexors dominate all day, and we start to pull tension in our body. So working through your hip hinge, keeping that connection of that heel to butt, butt to heel, opening up.
so our low lunges and our
Lunge positions to open up those hip flexors.
from days of sitting. So those are
Some different postures
some moves that you can do even
throughout the
today. You can walk up
and work
and take your hands on the wall,
wall and take one leg back here.
and you're in a good position to open up that hip flexor, right? And swap the legs. And it doesn't look that crazy that you're doing that, right? It's not like you jump down on the floor and bust out of practice.
Just
Do a couple of poses to help open or make that shape to help clear those areas.
Second question, do you have any tips?
Tips for combating feeling impatient, stressed while out in public, in traffic, at work? Certainly, right? That's all of us. I know that's me.
Sorry. Sorry, this mic keeps acting up on me here. Do you have it? So again, do you have any tips for combating feeling impatient? So the main thing that you want to do is breathe. Check back into your breath. When we get anxious and excited, we start to do what's called reverse breathing. So on the inhale, your belly starts going in, and on the exhale, it goes out, and that's opposite. So what I tend to do is when I feel those certain ways, I take that inhale and I watch my belly open. So I fill myself up on that inhale. And on the exhale, I feel the belly draw in. And it lets me then unite or connect back with my breath and set me up for a little better moment, right? So you can try those things. I know depending on how I feel for the day, it's what mala I tend to wear. You know, today as I wanted to stay relaxed and calm, you know, you're picking what you want to go with. Days that so I wore sandalwood. Days that you need a little more energy or power, or, you know, those are my little tricks that I go to. One more. Any tips on getting better at meditation? So I think the biggest thing that we get wrapped up in meditation is thinking that we need to be in this perfect position and in this big, huge aligned place when we're meditating. Just find a comfortable place, right? When you're the most comfortable, you're going to be able to take that meditation further. So whether it's sitting in a comfortable chair, laying on your bed, boosting yourself up, whatever it is, and just go where you can. Don't force it. Don't get yourself wrapped up in thinking you need to be a certain place. You don't. You're right where you need to be in that moment. Just listen to yourself, breathe, close your eyes, and feel yourself moving deeper to the meditation. It's not that you're going to, you know, ever get to a place where it's perfection. Perfection is just practicing, right? That's our perfection. So just practice these different things. So looks like it's all the time we have for today. Thank you all so much.
here at the end of practice. Enjoy a little something for everybody. Thanks again to Be Well Philly, Michelob Ultra, Three Queens Yoga, of course. You guys can look us up. We always got a bunch of different events happening, super fun. So it was a great time with you all. Thanks again. Appreciate it from everybody. I'll see you all soon. Thanks a lot.